Election officials have made a stunning seizure in Karnataka. Cheques worth 9,48,000 have been seized from Srinivaspura in Kolar just a few weeks ahead of the assembly elections in the state. Now, the cheques were to be distributed to 965 different women self-help groups, which in turn could be used for election purposes, is what we understand. Now, all the cheques belong to district cooperative central banks, and all these district cooperative central banks are now under the IT radar. Let's go across to Shrija, who's joining us for more details. Shrija, take us through what really has been uncovered here in terms of these seizures of these cheques. And this is extremely crucial, obviously coming at a time when it is just weeks to go before the assembly elections.
Well, absolutely. Remember that this is a very crucial election, and also to talk about the race is already heating up. And also another point to be noted over here, the election officials and also the flying squads are keeping an eye on especially the goodies that are being distributed among voters to move them and also to ensure that they capitalize on the sentiments of people and also get maximum votes. The latest that we are picking up over here right now is the DCT bank that has come under the IT radar because the checks about 9,48,000 rupees was distributed. This is in Srinivaspura Taluk in Kolar district in Karnataka, and the checks were to be distributed to at least women, about 900 women, self-help groups, which in turn could be used for election purposes. And of course, this is something that the election commission officials have been on the lookout for such transactions, because remember, over the last couple of weeks, we have been seeing how leaders across all the party lines, the party workers going to villages, shoring across Karnataka, also giving them goodies such as cookers. And also the latest that we are seeing over here is the cash also, which has been seized very recently. And then we also came across liquor. So the latest what they are looking at as far as the election commission officials are concerned is that they are looking at transactions, especially through checks and digital payments. This is something new that has come into, especially as far as the election campaigns are concerned.
Right. And Shrija, if you can take us through how this entire thing really came to light, and how did it become known that this money, which was going to be given to these self-help groups, will then be routed for election purposes?
Because if you clearly remember, over the last couple of weeks, the Election Commission and the surveillance and also the flying squads have been keeping an eye for such suspicious elements. They have been deployed at various checkpoints. So this is one such instance. We understand that they had, one of them had tipped them off, especially the Election Commission officials, because of which they decided to investigate as to really what this was. Because remember, this is something new that they are coming across, considering we're talking about digital transactions. So of course, they are going to keep an eye on more and more such suspicious elements, considering this is not just by road that we are talking about, where they are transporting cash from one village to the other village. We're also looking at something new that has come into election campaign, where we are seeing digital transactions. So the latest what we are picking up is that this was tipped off by one of them, unidentified person, to especially the election commission officials. That is exactly the reason why they had to, in fact, step up the inquiry into this particular recent case.
All right. Thanks, Shrija, for getting us all those details.